Good day to all the viewers of the Thorburn School of Astrology. Welcoming you today. I do know that it's the 14th of February, and I do know that it's Valentine's Day. So please, may I wish all of you a happy Valentine's Day. And the interesting thing about Valentine's Day is that we always relate it to romantic love. But I just heard something this morning that I'd just like to share with you, which actually takes its meaning to a higher level. And so it's very common that love is going to be the one quality that is actually going to help us and change the world that we live in. So by bringing in more love, and in order to do that, we need to go more into the heart. We need to start making more of our decisions into the heart. We need to really start coming from a space of love. So if all of us today, on the 14th, if you happen to receive it today, if we can all actually just go into our hearts and really look at those things that we love, the people we love, the things that we love, the things that we like to do, love to do, love for our fellow man, humanity, for Mother Nature, for Lady Gaia, the goddess of the earth, and for the fact that we have such an incredible planet, I think is a good thing to possibly reflect on to today. But the purpose of today's video is to actually talk about the full moon that happened 2 days ago. And once again, I know that this is a little bit late. I really do apologize to everybody. I don't think I'm the only one that's noticing that linear time doesn't actually have much meaning anymore, and that life is actually quite hectic at the moment, which we all knew was going to happen. We knew and we know that 2025 is going to be a very, very hectic year with a lot of change, where we really do need to look at being adaptable in terms of our lives. So in order for me to explain the full moon that we had on the 12th, I would like to share the chart with you, so that we can actually just begin to also look at everything from a learning point of view, which, as you guys know, is something that I really like to do. So we can see here that the sun is in Aquarius. We all know that the sun is in Aquarius, and we all know that at full moon, the moon will be opposite to the sun. And that means that it's in Leo at 24 degrees. So it all happened at 24 degrees 06. And yes, I have set this up for Pretoria in South Africa, because that's where I am coming from. And so just let's break down this full moon. The sun over here, and we're not going to worry about the houses for those of you who are astrologers. We're just looking at what is the general trends that we're looking at for the next 2 weeks following this full moon. So with the sun being in Aquarius, we really are beginning to look at concepts of freedom, liberty. How do we actually become more community driven, where the people begin to have the voice and not only the authorities and the leadership, which at this stage, I think it's pretty much come out that authorities and leadership have got an agenda. It seems that this agenda is a power struggle for control over us, the people. I think it also comes out that there's a lot of corruption. And so whether we believe this or not is irrelevant. But I think we just have to look at the world around us right now to know that the world is not the same place as what we knew before 2012, which was the Mayan calendar, where in my book, we've actually experienced huge, huge, huge shifts. Yes, the shifts started happening before that, but since 2012, it is definitely a different world that we're living in. So with the sun being in Aquarius, about freedom, liberty for the people, more community driven, innovative, people going to more AI, and getting help from the AI. It's also what we call in astrology conjunct Mercury. Now, Mercury is the mind, it's the decision maker, it is how we think, it is how we make our decisions, it's how we get to those decisions. And that happens to be also be in Aquarius. So there's a lot of energy on a mental level, and a mental conscious level about us becoming aware of what is going on around us. Maybe we're becoming aware of the fact that we're not as free as what we thought we were. Maybe we're becoming aware of our thoughts towards more freedom and liberty within our own lives. So that's for me what the sun is doing. And then opposite that, over here, we have the moon in Leo. Now, the moon is the subconscious mind. It's the dreamer. It is that which is hidden. And it's in Leo. And Leo is all about majesty. It's all about leadership. It's all about rulership. I'm the king of the jungle. And there was something very beautiful that I heard within this last week. And that was that we need to start owning our majesty. Now, let's just listen to those words again. We need to start owning and rising up to our own majesty. Remember, you are a unique individual. There's the Aquarius coming out. You are a unique individual. There is nobody else out in this world that is like you. Exactly like you. We can have 99 point whatever similarities, but there's still going to be something different. And the way that you see things is unique to you. Okay, so therefore, your world and the world that you are creating for yourself is unique to you. And what does that world look like? Right? What does that world look like? What is the world that you want to have regal, majestic control of? Because you are that creator. Yes, we are all co-creating with the divine right now. Yes, we are all going through our ascension right now. But I'm so aware of the fact that we are busy creating our own world. And really and truly, as the months go by within the chaos of 2025, that would be the one thought that I would really like you to develop over this year, or that there's an invitation to develop. I don't want you to do anything, but there's an invitation for you to develop, is what is in your control. What do you have rulership over, and be majestic about it. In other words, own your uniqueness, own who you are, own this creation of the world that you want to live in as we're moving up and up and up in the dimensions. And so the other thing that we can really look at with the moon in Leo is that it can be very stubborn. It can be that it doesn't want to change. And I think I just need to bring your attention to that. Whether you want to change or not, change is happening. So it would be best not to resist it, right? To actually start going more with what's happening inside of you in terms of a decision that you might be making, the Sun and Mercury together. Go more with that than what's happening in the chaos of the world outside of you. Now, this full moon of the moon in Leo, the Sun in Aquarius, are actually what we call both square to Uranus in Taurus. And this is forming what we call a T-square. Now, T-squares bring difficulty, and it's a T-square in the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius are all fixed signs. In other words, These are signs that are quite traditional. They are slow to change. They are wanting to keep the status quo. They are wanting to keep things the same. But Uranus is the planet of change. And within the last while we've seen Uranus in Taurus, we've seen a lot of effects and changes within our monetary systems, maybe within ourselves on a personal level, on a value system. We've been able to start beginning to recognize what is mine in terms of my talents, in terms of that which is me, not worrying about everybody else. Okay. So the subconscious and the conscious mind are actually, number one, in a little bit of a war with each other, freedom versus tradition, right? I would like you to start looking at it more from, or I'd like to see it more as freedom versus the chance of actually rising in our majesty towards that which is me, that which is you. And this is now in a T square to Uranus. So Uranus is actually asking us to change, right? We need to do this change. Uranus is the disruptor. It is definitely the disruptor of all of this. So yes, right now, from the Wednesday to now, we might have been finding that we're going back into old patterns because change is hard. And this is where we need to start becoming conscious. We need to start becoming conscious to say, okay, as much as there's a pull towards my comfort zone, as much as I want to stay safe, I am being forced to actually move out of my comfort zone and actually start looking at the world from a different point of view. And for those of you who are astrologers and will understand this, I think one of the things that is keeping us in a way, almost like in a crossroads, because as much as we've got this T square that wants us to keep the status quo, although we know and realize and understand that we need to change, the actual practicality of that is not always in our favor. And this might be, so it's an out of sign trine, and it's a very wide trine, because although Uranus is trine to the south node now, and the south node is trine to Pluto, it's a little bit wide between Uranus and Pluto, but I've actually given myself a little bit of grace in terms of this video. And what do I want to bring to your attention here? The south node is where we have come from. We have come from being analytical, analyzing everything, making everything need to make sense in terms of science. We have been quite insistent about that in terms of making, I can remember, even with astrology right now, there's always the stigma, you cannot prove it. You cannot prove astrology in a scientific lab. Therefore, it was never actually seen by the bigger world, which is crazy, but that's the truth. So Uranus and the change that is needed from us, in a way, our status quo, that which we know and familiar of, let's analyze it, let's dissect it, let's see what the physical components are, is actually very, very strong at the moment, right? So it's difficult to change. What we need to be going through to in terms of this is that we need to be going through to the North Node, which is in Pisces, which is asking us to be a lot more flexible. And that, for me, would be a very, very key word for right now, even though I'm late with the full moon, is to be flexible. Go with the changes. Look at where you need to change in order to change old behavior of yours. And one of the other reasons why I'm saying this is because Pluto and Uranus, which, as I say, it's a very, very wide square trine over here, and forgive me for taking the liberty of using it. But what I'm saying to myself is that Pluto and Uranus are both disruptors. Uranus is a disruptor. It's been quite difficult to disrupt because of the it's almost like I can feel the brakes of the corporations and the old paradigms hanging on for dear life. So it's been difficult to change for that. Pluto, which has been in Capricorn, an earth sign, and has now moved into Aquarius and will be in Aquarius until 1941, is a disruptor in the sense that something has to die in order for something to be reborn. And on a personal level, I'm inviting you that the change that is being invited from us to go away from the analytics, the mental body, the body that actually wants to see everything from a tangible point of view, that is coming to an end, and that Pluto is actually transforming it, transmuting it, transcending it, reinventing itself through the energy of the North Node in Pisces, which is about actually embracing the unknown, embracing change, embracing the concept of love, which means that we come into our hearts. And isn't that incredible that we're on Valentine's Day and that there even is that whole thing about the North Node where we're moving we're moving into the space of love. And simultaneously with this Pluto over here, I think, is bringing up a lot of the secrets, because Pluto is the great unraveler. It unravels, it brings all the secrets from the underground all the way up into the open. And I think that that's exactly what it's doing as the information and the chaos is actually coming out in our lives, in the bigger world of where we are living right now. So this is the full moon. I think for us, yes, I think we are aware of the fact that the world around us is changing. What we need to do is we need to get out of fear. That's the most important thing. And unfortunately, the fixed signs, in a way, are fearful because they want to keep the status quo. It's always worked, so why change? So we must be careful of that. We must be careful of that, because as Uranus is going to actually move into Gemini later this year, and I will do another video on that, all of that's going to begin to change. This whole fear paradigm of holding on to the old. The invitation is to move through the nodes, and this actually, in a way, forming a kite, definitely forming a kite over here. And what's nice about that is the head of the kite is the North Node. There is such a strong indication of us moving as a humanity, moving from the mental body, the decision, the tangible proof to everything, into something that is far more free-flowing, far more unstructured, far more heart-driven. And because it's far more heart-driven, it's coming from a space of love. And as Diana Cooper would say, from the higher heart. So I'd like to leave it at that. And I hope that you will find this of value. Before I say goodbye, I'd like to just tell you an experience of mine with this full moon to, in a way, indicate how this plays out. So on the full moon, which was Wednesday, I noticed that the energy, so I am a tutor, and I noticed that the energy in the classroom was chaotic. It was very, very, very disruptive. Nice Uranian influence over there. And I immediately went into the old mode of actually going into the south mode of the analytics. And I sent a message which was unnecessary, and it was changed, which was fine. It wasn't a problem. But it sat with me full Wednesday in terms of the reaction that I had to the disruptive teenagers and the energy that I was feeling that day. And I then decided that on Thursday, which was yesterday, my most important aim, my most important focus was to actually just keep myself balanced. And I did that with an amazing meditation in the morning that was just about keep yourself balanced. And when you are with the teenagers, just come from your heart center. And I hadn't put all this together yet. So that's why I'm able to actually do this. And then I just had a completely different day. I had a completely different response from the students and so on and so forth. So this for me is definite proof of how when we change ourselves and we change our own attitudes towards something, how we begin to have this amazing influence on our outside world. And isn't that a level of majesty? Isn't that a level of direct proof of being in control of your own life? So I will leave you with that thought and thank you very much. So let me stop sharing over here and let me just go back to actually saying happy Valentine's. Have a wonderful weekend, South Africa. And I will be doing more videos in terms of what we can actually expect from 2025, especially from the change and the fast speeds that are going to come through for us. I hope you've enjoyed it and look after yourselves. Go with love. Take care. Bye.